Hello, good morning. From Indonesia with love to kids around the world. Today I will read story from a book called Stories from Everywhere. The story title is Baboons at Brookfield. A few baboons at the zoo in Brookfield live in cages, but most of them live on an island. The baboons do not like water, so they never go into the pond that is all around the island. On the island, there are queer sheep that look something like goats. The baboons and the queer sheep seem to be a good friend. Often, two or three baboons get on the back of a sheep. The sheep gives them a ride. Okay, I'm sorry. The baboons on the island seem to be like one big family. If anything happens to one baboon, if anything's happened to one baboon, all the others run to help it. Baboons seem to be afraid of being hurt. They often get excited if anyone stares at them too long. One day, a keeper thought he saw something on a baboon's ear. The keeper did not go near the baboon, but he stopped it and stared at it. The baboon began to make an awful noise. All the other baboons came to see what was the matter. They were sure the keeper had been hurting the animal. The baboons ran toward the keeper. The keeper knew that he had to get away from them in a hurry. He knew the baboons did not like water, so he jumped into the pond. The baboons ran down to the water. They kept up their awful noise until they thought the keeper was far enough away from the island. One day, Mr. and Mrs. Gray were at the zoo. They had been watching the excited animals on the island. They had seen the keeper jump into the pond. Did that keeper tease those baboons? Asked Mrs. Gray. The keepers never tease the animal, replied Mr. Gray. The man just stared at the baboon. Those animals don't like to have anyone stare at them. Mr. and Mr. Gray walked toward a big cage. In it, there was a mother baboon. She had her baby in her arms. A keeper was coming toward the cage, and the mother baboon knew the keeper well. She wanted him to see her baby. She made a queer sound. She kept making the sound until the keeper stopped it. The proud mother baboon held up her baby. She turned it round and round. You have a very beautiful baby, Rabi, said the keeper. I know you are proud of it. I am sorry, I can't stop to visit you now, but I am very busy. I will come back often to see your Rabbi. Rabbi looked pleased. Mr. and Mrs. Gray were very much surprised. I thought baboons didn't like to have anyone stare at them, said Mr. Gray. We just saw them make one keeper jump into the pond. All he did was stare at one of the baboons, said Mrs. Gray. Ruby is different from those who live on the island, said the keeper. Ruby knows me well. I took care of her once when she was sick. Ruby never forgot me. We are good friends. How old is her baby? Asked Mrs. Gray. It was born the first of this month, replied the keeper. He looked at Ruby, and she held up her baby again. You are very proud of that baby, Ruby, he said. Be sure to take good care of it until I come back. As the keeper left, he waved his hand and called, Goodbye, Ruby. Mr. and Mrs. Gray both turned toward the island again. They could see that one little baboon was above the others. It seemed to be watching for something. Suddenly that baboon began to make a queer sound. The other baboons heard it. Those who were scratching each other stopped it at once. Those who were asleep woke up. All the baboons moved quickly to one end of the island. They began to walk back and forth. Okay. A keeper came toward. He was carrying a large pail filled with food. He smiled at Mr. and Mrs. Gray. How did they know you were coming? Asked Mr. Gray. They could not see you, but suddenly they knew you were coming. They know it. They know it is about time to eat, replied the man. One baboon sits where it can watch for me. As soon as it sees me, it tells the others. Frisky was it for me today. Yes, said Mr. Gray. He was there. He was up there above the others. I remember now that Frisky made a funny sound, said Mrs. Gray. He is a bright little animal. The keeper said, How watch Frisky hurry toward the bananas. He always tries to get a banana before the others take all of them. He won't ever eat any bread until he has that banana. Do the baboons eat the same food every day? Asked Mr. Gray. Both the baboons and monkeys get dog food every day, replied the keeper. They get breakfast food every day too. They eat bread and vegetables and fruit. Some days they get carrots or oranges. Other days they get apples and sometimes they have bananas. They always have good food and plenty of it. People who visit here often give them peanuts and candy. It doesn't hurt these animals to eat such things, so we let the visitor feed them. Then the keeper looked into the pond and saw pepper and other things there. Some people throw just anything into the ponds, he said. That is not wise. Some things make the baboons sick. Just then Frisky found an orange, but he was not hungry now. He just turned the orange around and around. Then he tossed it back and forth from one hand to the other. "This is a good egg," said Mr. Gray. "Frisky has not once dropped the orange. I guess Frisky isn't very hungry now," said Mrs. Gray. "No," said the keeper, "but he will be watching the next time I come toward the island. Frisky always seems to know when it is time to eat. I guess all the animals at the zoo know that." Some questions. In what ways are kangaroos and baboons the same? In what ways are they different? In what ways are baboons and spider monkeys the same? In what ways are they different? In what ways are elephants and monkeys the same? In what ways are they different? In what ways are sea lions different from the other animal? Okay, thank you. I hope you have beautiful time, good time with your family. Stay healthy, stay happy, and see you today for the next bedtime story. From Indonesia with love to all of you around the world.